Notunterkunft für Flüchtlinge in Berlin-Moabit. My name is Marta, I'm a student and I work here in a part-time job in this refugee shelter. And under this roof we have around 300 refugees from all over the world, and they stay here from one night until like a week. Yeah, we're here in the kitchen and we're giving out food at the moment, and this is what we do. Step 1, wash your hands thoroughly.
So before we were able to work here, we had to sign off knowing that there's a potential to get all kinds of diseases just in being in contact. So it's very important not to keep in too close contact with the refugees while you're here, but we're still able to help regardless. So let's find out exactly what we're going to end up doing. Here in the refugee center, they actually have a whole area dedicated for children, and this is something that's really not typical of refugee shelters. So it's a big open space where the kids get to relax, and they even have volunteers helping out, and they're able to draw and play together even when where they came from, their nations might be at raging war. So it's a very interesting dynamic to see them get along now, and for the better of their own livelihood.
I'm Martin. I'm working here in this place. It's like a small playground where the children can find their space to play and to be loud sometimes. It's always a big wonder to me because the children come from every nation and mostly they don't even have a language, but they all are playing together and loving each other and solving the problems.
Hey guys, it's Super Ivy, the hashtag hero here. I'm live with Mathias Hamann. He is the director and runs this entire shelter here. Thank you so much for inviting us over to speak with you and to actually immerse ourselves in the culture of what's going on here. Something that I wanted to find out is, how did you end up doing this line of work?
Yeah, I was working very long as a freelancer journalist, and I did a report for Germany's Spiegel Online. It's a very important news website, and I did a report about a friend of mine who was working with homeless people in the winter. So I did a whole night shift with him, and I realized, well, I can do that myself, because as you were immersed today, I was immersed at that night too. So I started working at the Berlin City Mission, the Berliner Stadtmission, and so I was first doing night shifts with homeless people. Then I was responsible for the night shifts. So then last year I was running a homeless shelter.
And where are most of your refugees coming from?
We have a continuous stream of people from Syria. We have people from Chechnya. We have some people from Ukraine. Of course, also some I think Gambia and Eritrea, and also Somalia, some people from Afghanistan, but the big waves and peaks are always from the Balkans.
Is it easy for everyone here to get along? Because I think sometimes it's like cultures that don't necessarily...
It's an interesting question you ask, because we are asked that many, many times, and my really brief and simple answer is that not the culture is an asshole, but individuals are assholes. So, and to put it vice versa, it means that people just get along very, very, very fine. So, and it might have also something to do with the fact that we are an emergency shelter. It means that we are the first stop for people after their 2-day, 3-day, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months journey. So usually many people are the first days in their bed, and because they want to relax. So that means there is not enough energy to create tensions. Up to 1/3 of our population here is made of children, and children usually get along very, very good. So, I mean, of course, sometimes they want to have the little bike and they argue then a little bit, but it's not this big cultural tension, you are a Muslim, I'm a Christian thing, what we would assume there is. I remember one evening there was a woman from Serbia, and she had a bucket with water, and she knocked on the table, and then there was a man from Syria. He knocked on the bench, and so it was clear who was cleaning what. And so this is a wonderful example of how the people can get together. And for instance, when they form football teams, it's mixed football teams.
What do you think is the superpower of this facility?
One thing is an architectural design thing. An air-inflated structure, as I assume is the correct English term, is constructed very, very fast. So for instance, this was built on the 20th of November, and November 28th we were open.
Wow.
So everything within was built, like put into within a week. So of course, like the basic infrastructure, maybe this took another week or two, but it's very, very fast. I mean, compare it to a house that has to shelter 200, 300 people. It's not so easy and fast constructed. So this is really one superpower. Like, you know, many superheroes, they can move very fast. And in terms of a superhero who would be a building, this is a very fast building. And the second thing is like in terms of where we are located. We are very close located to the authorities. That means if the authorities are like drowning under a wave of refugee, which they were in December, it's very easy to give them a slip of paper and say, here you're officially allowed to go to that shelter. It's only 20 minutes far away, and so they don't have to travel an hour through Berlin. They just can walk here. And the third thing, the third superpower, I think, is the heartwarming people that we have here. Because you have experienced that. You have worked with the volunteers, and you couldn't do the work we do without the volunteers. So we have roundabout, I think we are really moving very fast to the mark of 600 people who have worked here, who have helped here, or who are helping. The idea that the state should care for every human being, so the state is responsible for that. And granting asylum means that the state somewhere else is not capable or is not willing to do that, whatever, and the other states should take over. So that means it's a basic human right, and that's why volunteers are so important, because they do not only spread, but they live this message. You know, if we speak about human right is not something that you or I have to earn. We just have it. Like in many societies, it's always developed that you get something because either you work for it or you have special relationships. So for instance, your mother gives you something because you are her child. So, or you can buy bread because you are employed somewhere and you do something for others. And the human right is something where you don't need a mother that gives you that, where you don't need to work for that, you just have it. Yeah. But still, someone has to give it to you without getting something back. So, and this is what volunteers do. They show with their time, with every bread they put on a plate, with every tea they give out, with every minute they spend with the children here, they spread this message. I give you my time because you have that human right, and I don't want anything in return, because you just get it because you deserve it.
How do people get involved in something like this?
We are always happy to have volunteers, so like they can do the work that you did, like helping out the kitchen, be at the reception, introducing our guests into our shelter. They can also play with the children, or the second big thing what people can do is like projects. So for instance, we have a group of people who try to come every Monday and they play bingo. And we're looking, and we're very happy if there are more people who do that. So if you want to play bingo here, you're happily welcome, because it's a great way to learn numbers in English and in German. And you have to see it. It's like 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 people are playing bingo, and it's amazing. Just, you know, your first question was like, are there differences between cultures in terms of fascination for bingo? They are not. So it's really amazing. So,
okay, well, this has been awesome getting to speak with you and to be here.
Well, I have a question.
Oh, sure.
What was the superpower you discovered here?
The superpower that I discovered here, I think, would be the openness and the endless compassion for others that people have. Yeah, it's very authentic, and it's not something that It's not something that can be bought or sold. It's something that you know, as a person you come to find and you live with. Like you were saying, like they live it. It's not, you know, it's not someone forcing or anything of that nature. It's something that they intrinsically have. And I think that's a superpower.
It's a human superpower because I believe every human being has that.
Yeah,
and it's
me
so nice that you discover that.
We're about to give everyone here the hashtag Hero stamp of approval. Oh yeah.